Hey guys, this is my top 10 Dario Argento films. Number 10, Sleepless. This is the UK version, which is in widescreen. I originally bought the artisan version, which turned out to be full frame. So I definitely had to pick up the UK version because I want to see films in the proper aspect ratio, if at all possible. Number 9 is Four Flies on Grey Velvet. This is the third and final film in Dario Argento's Animal trilogy, and this is an excellent giallo film, so excellent film. Number 8, Dario Argento's Inferno. Inferno is the second film in his Three Mothers trilogy, sequel to Suspiria. Number 7 is Phenomena, supernatural themed film starring Jennifer Connelly and Donald Pleasance. Jennifer Connelly has telekinesis, telekinetic powers that allow her to communicate with insects. Again, a very good Dario Argento film. Next up is Dario Argento's Opera, also known as Terror at the Opera. Again, an excellent film. This version is number 826 of 30,000. Dario Argento's Opera at number 6. Number 5, Dario Argento's Cat o' Nine Tails, another excellent giallo from Dario Argento. Next up, number 4, is The Bird with the Crystal Plumage. Again, another excellent giallo film. Definitely highly recommended. Next, at number 3, is Tenebrae. This is also my first Arrow Blu-ray. After buying this, I just really love this edition. I love the whole package. Definitely planning to get more Arrow films, and definitely have to upgrade most of my Dario Argento films to Blu-ray since I have them on DVD right now. So I'm definitely looking forward to getting some more Arrow releases and some more Blu-ray releases for my Dario Argento films. But this is definitely another excellent giallo film. Next up, at number 2, is Deep Red. Excellent film, excellent score. I mean, everything about this film is just wonderful. These last few films have been really difficult to pick because really when it comes from like Opera, Cat o' Nine Tails, Bird with the Crystal Plumage, Tenebrae, and Deep Red, probably at different times they've been able to switch positions in my top 10 Dario Argento film, and that's to Dario Argento's credit just because they are each excellent films. So sometimes you'll go ahead, I'll watch one of them, and for one reason or another I'll be like, wow, just really so impressed that it definitely bumps it up a notch. So a lot of these films, especially in the top 5, 6, are definitely interchangeable in position from time to time. So my positions will probably change over time again as I continue to watch each of these films. Again, I've seen all these films I don't know how many times. And Dario Argento is just such an excellent filmmaker. You just gotta love him. Okay. And my number 1, which you probably already guessed, is Dario Argento's Suspiria. This was actually my first Dario Argento film. Was highly recommended to me by numerous people. I eventually sought it out and probably watched like a 10th generation copy on Betamax back in the day. Eventually I was able to track down a copy of it on VHS and bought my copy on VHS, which was well worn by the time it was replaced by my Laserdisc version. And then, when it came out on DVD, of course, it had to be something that I'll get. And I had to get, and I can't wait for a wonderful edition to come out on Blu-ray. I hope they release an edition that's as excellent as this limited edition of Suspiria. This edition is number 4,989 of 60,000. So still a pretty low number, not as low as my copy of Opera, though. This film, though, really can't say enough about it. I mean, the color is amazing. Goblin's work with the music and the soundtrack is just, mind-blowing. The visual images, that opening murder, most of the scenes in this movie are just so beautifully shot. You could just take a still from them and hang them in an art gallery. I mean, it's just such a gorgeous looking film. Can't go on enough about this film. It really has always been one of my favorites. It really showed me that horror films could be both artistic, well-made films. I mean, this film could definitely probably play in an art house theater. I'm sure it has played in art house theaters because it is just really that well made. With all of Dario Argento's, a lot of times the stories are probably the least important element of his films. It really is about visuals. It really is about the sound. It really is about the whole experience. But Suspiria is just such an amazing film. I really can't go on enough about it, but I will shut up now. And then I'm also going to show you a few other films that I have that didn't make my top 10. First is Dario Argento's Mother of Tears, which was the third and final film in his Three Mothers trilogy. I really wasn't a fan of this. I watched it a number of times. I really hope each time I'll watch it, I'll just start to like it more. And that just really hasn't happened with this film. I thought it was okay. It's an okay film. It's just not up there with a lot of Dario Argento's earlier films. One of Dario Argento's TV works from Masters of Horror was Jennifer, which I thought was a pretty good episode. I think he really held his own in this series. I think it was, it was enjoyable. Definitely liked it. Jennifer. Next one is Dario Argento's The Card Player. I thought this was a good film. I didn't think it was great. Certainly doesn't rank up there with his earlier films, but it was definitely an enjoyable film. I liked it. Then we have The Stendhal Syndrome. I really did like The Stendhal Syndrome. Thought it was a pretty good film. Not as good as his earlier works, but I think it was very interesting. I think the whole concept of, somebody being able to kind of crawl into paintings, artwork, kind of getting lost in them in a way, is just a really great idea. So I found it very, very interesting. Thought his daughter did a good job in this film. Overall it was an enjoyable film. Just didn't make my top 10. And then a film that probably just missed my top 10 was Trauma. It's a good film. I just don't think it compares to, any of the other films in the top 10. But, it was definitely a good film. And then lastly, I'll show you two of the autographs that I have. This one is Barbara, who is right there in the picture. And this is a picture from Suspiria. And then the other is from Inferno, and this was with Irene Miracle. And you could see she's coming out of the water. That was an amazing scene in Inferno, which was also an excellent film in the second and the Three Mothers trilogy. And then, of course, the shot that I started off with.